Hey everybody, Scott Burnett here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video. And today I'm sitting outside on the deck and I'm on the GoPro with just its microphone, so hopefully it's not driving you nuts. But I took a little trip up to my brother's house. He lives about 30 minutes north of me, and he bought another graph or fish finder for his boat so you can have two of them. And he hasn't updated the firmware or the software on the graph, which, like every device known to man, it's got a software and a firmware. And he asked me if I would come up, since I'm the technical person in the family for some reason, come up and update them. And what he has is a Humminbird Helix 10 Generation 2 in fish finder. And I'll pop all this up here so you can see what it is. But and a disclaimer before we start this, I always follow the manufacturer's instructions on this when you go to update software. And it doesn't matter if it's your phone, a GoPro, a fish finder, laptop, whatever. I always follow the manufacturer's instructions because you can make a paperweight out of it. It's pretty easy, and then you'd have to send it back to the manufacturer and have them flash it and all this other stuff. So what I want to do, I want to go from the GoPro down to the computer here and show you what I had to download. Either that, or we're just going to go ahead and start off in the boat up at my brother's house, and hopefully you can make sense of what I'm doing. It's not terribly difficult as long as you follow the instructions and take your time with it and always use the right stuff. So one of the things on the website, and I'll show you this in a minute, it shows you to use a 32 gig SD card. And this is actually a 32 gig SD card. I really didn't need a 32. If I'd read the instructions, it said 32 gig or smaller. I could have got away with a 16, but I went in and bought this. It was $9 and change on Amazon. You can always use a micro SD card with an adapter, and let me find where the card is. This is the adapter for the SD card or micro SD card. This is a micro SD card. When it comes to flashing firmware, I'd rather have the full-size card just in case it didn't go in well or something. And you always need some kind of reading write device for the SD card. These are about $12. This is an Anchor. It'll do micro SD and SD. Pretty neat device. It works really well. But to do it right, you need good equipment, or you can make a paperweight out of it. So anyway, let's go down to the computer here, and I'll show you what I downloaded and how I put it on the card. There's a certain way you have to put the file on the card. Always follow the instructions, whether it be Lowrance, Garmin, Humminbird. I can't think of another brand, but always follow the instructions. That's what I can tell you. So let's go down to the computer. All right, we're going to open up the web browser. Go to humminbird.com. It's Humminbird, not Hummingbird. And there'll be links to all this in the description, all the SD cards and readers and all the links to the software for this particular unit. So when we get to Humminbird, we'll go to support, software updates. Once we get there, they give you a whole list of drop downs for whatever device you have, and make sure that you get the correct device. I think in the video I show you how to find where that is. So we'll go to Helix 10. And the first unit that I show updating is a Helix 10 Chirp Mega SI GPS G2N, which is a second generation N model. We're going to click on that. And it shows us that the software update is a version 2.280. And this is November 2020. Don't be scared at that. 2020. So it tells you there's two pieces of software that we have to download. One is a base map, which is the native mapping software in the unit that has all the maps for everybody and everywhere. It's not as good as the Lake Master mapping, but you still need it. So, and then the second is a software update that has enhancements, bug fixes, and any kind of updates for the hardware. So what you do, you go down here to I understand, continue to do the update, and it tells you all Helix 9, 10, and 12 models need to download the base map software 1.031. And then it tells you what all the updates are for the Raptor anchors, the Canon downriggers, and then the general fixes and bug fixes and all that stuff. I call it bug fixes because I'm a software engineer and we have bugs. So, and that's one thing that we do. We always have to fix our bugs. So I call it bug fixes. So right here it says the software prerequisites, a working card reader, which I showed you earlier, and a formatted 32 gig class 10 or smaller micro or SD card. And I could have got away with 16 gig, but a 32 gig card wasn't that much more. So the instructions tell you plainly, restore the unit to the default before you do anything. Don't, because you may have a setting enabled in there that will clash with the update and bad things will happen, so you don't want that to happen. And then it shows you talking about updating the SD card. After you plug the SD card into your reader, plug it into your computer, or if your computer has one, plug it in. It says download the files and then just drag them over to the root of the file system. Don't create a folder, don't make it pretty, just drag and drop. And then you'll see something like this. And you'll see this is the .bin file. And that's how the software updates are, is a .bin file. This is the one for the second unit that we updated, the HW unit. And then the base map files are in a .k format. I don't know what that is, but it worked. So I was happy with it. So once you do that, then you take the card out of your card reader, you eject it from your computer, and you go to your unit, set the defaults, run the update, power down, take everything out, pop your normal SD cards for your Lake Master and your Waypoint chip, plug them in, start it up, and go through and check all your settings, and Lord willing, you're okay. I've done my 1198 a few times, got Ronnie's, both his units done, and we're pretty good. Always follow the instructions though. I can't emphasize that enough. So anyway, let's leave here. We'll go 30 minutes north up to my brother's house, get in the boat, and I'll show you what we did, and we'll be back in just a minute. All right, so here we are. We're going to update the firmware or the software on a Helix 10 second generation sonar unit. So what we're going to do, I'm going to take you down to the computer and show you what I had to download, and we're going to follow the instructions. Okay, here we are at the unit. Right here is one of them. Go ahead and take both your SD cards out of the slot right here where my finger's at. And we're going to power it up. See if I can attach this right. All right, so first off, read the instructions before you do this. So we've got the instructions pulled up. And it says, we highly recommend you restore the defaults on your unit before you start. So we are going to do that. And for some reason it's connecting your phone. Okay, we're here at restore defaults. This is no and yes. We're going to hit yes. And apparently we did that. Okay, so I have a 32 gig card. I don't think you need 32 gigs, but it was awfully big what I did here. So we're going to go ahead and shut it down again. And we're going to go ahead and put the card in. We're going to power it up. Allow the unit to go to complete startup before pressing any buttons or selecting menu items. After the unit has completed the loading process, you have clicked through the warnings and information. Oh, I was supposed to. Okay. It went ahead and did it for me. So replacing the software on this unit will restore factory defaults. Losing power may corrupt the device. Do you want to replace software from version 1.350 with version 2.280? You want to hit yes. And it's want to do an Apple thing where you double confirm it. It says abort it and no. And we're going to go through and update the software. And it should say you want to board, don't power off. And if it works, it should say that the software version 2.280 is installed. We'll remove the card and power off the unit.
Card encryption failed.
Yeah. So the second part of this is updating the base map software, which is a huge file. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So we want to, you have the earliest version known to man, 0000. Okay, so we're going to
Noah used it.
Yep. And I don't want to abort it. This is one of the things where you don't want to have a power outage, you know, your battery die on the boat. But the base map file was around 6 gigabytes. And the software update was 300 megabytes, so it was. The base map is your chart. So everything completed on the graph. We're going to go through and make sure that all the transducer settings and all that stuff are showing up. But we are going to go to this second graph and we're going to make sure that they're both on the same version because they're going to be networked together and you got to have the same version of firmware on both of them. So we'll walk through that one. And I'll show you when it finishes what we got.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, hang on a minute. Okay, setup. Chart. Sonar. High frequency. Medium high. Mega.
Okay, so what he's doing right now, he's making sure after the software update that all the transducers and all the settings and everything are back the way he wants it. There's nothing worse than getting out on the lake and nothing working.
83,200.
So that's the right transducer?
Yep.
Mega SI?
Yep.
All right. All right, so we're going to power up the other unit and come right back. All right, so we went ahead and restored defaults like we did on the other one, and I'm going to show you what it looks like once you get updated. Now this is a little different graph, so I had a different model number, so I had to actually download another update. The actual software update is not horrible. It's the base map that's really big. So we'll speed up and show you when it gets done. All right, looks like the graph restarted. Now hit exit. Okay, so the update file was, so now it wants to do the base map. So we'll go ahead and do that. And hit yes. And then hit no. And now we'll go ahead and update the base map. Now it's supposed to show some kind of message saying the update's successful, but neither one of them has done that, so I don't know if the developers forgot to add that feature or what, but we'll look at it after we get this updated. So anyway, we don't have the power wire and the network wire for this one yet, but the software updates were correct. And if you ever want to look at this, all you do is go to menu when it goes to this one. Let me get down here. And then we'll go down to system status. And you can see all the self-tests, the model numbers, firmware versions, how many hours you have on the device, and the whole bit. If you can see that. So you got all the stuff right there. So that tells you what all you got. So I'll take you to the computer now, and I'll show you where to download all these files and everything. All right, so we're back at home, and everything went well. Very happy with the updates. The next thing will be to network the two devices or two units, and I'll make a short video on how to do that. But hopefully this is helping you out. I enjoy making these kind of videos because I learn myself, and then hopefully I'm showing you guys you can do stuff. I mean, you don't have to pay a fortune to have stuff done. But I think my audio is way too high. There we go. Hopefully I wasn't blowing you out. But anyway, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. The other button works too, but we're not going to use it. Hit that little subscribe button. Hit that bell to be notified. I appreciate everybody subscribing, and leave me a comment if you've ever had to do this and how your experience was. And on top of that, I have enjoyed all the comments that I've gotten over the last few weeks. Had some really nice people give me some good comments, and I enjoy that. I enjoy replying back to good people. And I can't stress that enough. Let's be good to one another. I'm not saying it has to be unicorn farts and rainbows, but let's be nice to our fellow man and help people out. And that's, you know, all the hate in the world right now is just ridiculous. It's and it doesn't have to be that way. You know, not saying it has to be unicorn farts and rainbows. And that's my saying for today. But you know, let's just be thoughtful and nice to one another, and help your fellow man out. And That's all I can say about that. But anyway, I'm going to let you go there. And until the next video, thanks for watching.